How's it going, everyone? Matt Leighton. Welcome back to another real estate video. Hey guys, so in today's video, we're here with RIch Conlon of Atlantic Coast Mortgage out of Fairfax, Virginia. Very important question for him because Rich, honestly, I'm working with a lot of first-time home buyers, a lot of, people that might have just graduated from school, grad school, law school. They're just racking up all sorts of student debt. Pretty soon they're going to be solving the world's problems before we know it.
Right.
But right now their problem is they have a lot of student debt.
Yep.
So as first-time home buyers, can they buy a house with student debt? How much debt is too much debt? And what's going on there in terms of getting approved for a mortgage?
Yeah, I think this is actually something that a lot of first-time buyers reach out. They're tentative. They're a little fearful. They're just like, they have it in their back of their mind, and some say it, some do, and in understanding that this could prevent them from buying or buying what they want. So there are ways around it. There are programs available. If you're a doctor, there are doctor programs for lawyers. Essentially, if you go into a master's program, which is where I think more of the student debt obviously gets racked up and bills, the payments are higher.
Definitely.
There are programs out there. Not every lender has them. But there are limited down payment programs. There are programs now that can forgive those payments and not factor them into your debt to income or your purchasing power per se. Now there are some strict, there's some little caveats to that, like say it's deferred, you don't have to start making payments on for the next year. There's a certain amount, there's sometimes a cap on that, but don't be afraid. Again, we talk about it. It's never too early to get pre-approved. Don't let that stop you from entertaining the buying process and seeing what options are available to you.
Yeah, I'm thinking, if I had, $100,000 in student loan and I wanted to buy a house, would that even be possible? It would have to be dependent upon the income, and then it sounds like you can essentially waive your student loan payment when you're calculating that debt to income ratio.
Yeah, no, definitely. They will. That is a potential option. Yeah. There are programs that will do that. And just speaking on a standard, if you're, Fannie or Freddie, if you're doing a conventional loan and not one of those like special niche programs or doctor-specific programs, Fannie and Freddie has actually over the past couple of years also relaxed this in terms of, if it's a higher payment, they can maybe just reduce it to 1% of what your balance is. Also, this, everyone is just always used to, once the housing market crashed and we started the recovery, they went to a strict requirement of need 2 years of employment history. That's not the case anymore. If you are just graduating, you're 2-3 months out and you just started your new job, you're a month in, you're making solid salary, and you got a lot of but you got a lot of bills, but you don't meet that 2-year history requirement. You can still pursue purchasing a home within the next 30 days or however soon you want. And you can just use the time spent in school as verification. So for a lot of these, we just require your not the official copy, but a copy of your transcripts, just validating that you were actually in school.
Yeah, what would you say to someone who is just out of school or maybe at a hot new job or about to get a really good high-paying job they want to buy, but they're just hesitant because they're like, oh my gosh, I have all this debt. What would you say to someone that was carrying a lot of student debt but also wanted to buy a house pretty soon?
It's a great question, and I think it really just varies. I think it's important to understand one's comfort level, and when you're talking with a lender, you can figure out if a lender's just trying to push you and wants you to, work with them and buy now. But the better lenders are going to listen to what, where your comfort level is, whether they're factored into the ratios or not. Ultimately, you may have to, pay that, and, you have to make sure that you're comfortable and able to make that housing payment, make your student loan payments, make your credit card payments. If you have a car too, making the car payment. We always talk about max purchasing power versus comfort level buying power. They're typically two different things. So it's important that, your lender communicates and more importantly, listens to, all that you have in terms of what you pay on a monthly basis and what a proposed monthly housing payment And whether that whether those payments are the student loan payments are factored in and saying you can buy this house, you're still going to have to pay.
Yeah.
Comes down to what is your comfort level with the housing payment. Can you still make all those payments and live a healthy and enjoyable lifestyle? No one wants to be stuck at home every night eating ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Or stuck, going to McDonald's on the dollar menu, right?
Yeah, exactly. It comes down to your lifestyle and your comfort level. So you don't, be house poor, right? I mean, Rich's job and my job, right? We're both in the sales industry, but the reason Rich is on this program, if you can call it a program, I'm calling it a program, it's because Rich cares more about the relationship than the transaction. So, Rich and, a lot of other lenders out there, they're not going to force a program down your throat. There might be some that will, but it's all about listening to the consumer, understanding their needs, and being able to service those needs now or 2 years down the line when that comfort level is a little bit better.
Yeah, and again, if it doesn't work out at that point in time, it's it happens. Don't be discouraged. Like it goes back to what we say: it's never too early to start. Yeah. And understanding where you stand, and identifying, okay, this is what I can buy now. This is where I'm comfortable now, and you can do your own self-evaluation of how much do I save on a monthly basis, and where can I be 6 months from now, and where I can be a year from now. And by starting this process, up front, only positions you and has you more well prepared for when the time comes that you know exactly what you're doing. You're going into it eyes wide open, and then when you guys are out on the pavement looking at houses, the search itself is more efficient, and then when you're ready to make an offer, it's like that. And you can be as competitive as you need to be, and it just makes the process as a whole from start to finish much more seamless.
Yeah. Just more educated and more prepared. So, if you have student debt or if you're thinking about going to law school or something like that, going to grad school, hopefully this short video was helpful. And what I'll do is I'll list and link Rich's contact information in the description below. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out to him, or you can just drop a comment and one of us will get back to you as soon as we can. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, create a productive day. Take care.